Good afternoon, Rednecks. Thought I was done with this, except for the finishing touches, but then something occurred to me. I didn't put a rain gutter on here. Now, you know, some people that's optional, and you go, well, what, rain gutter? Who cares? Come on. Well, I'll tell you why it's important here. Look at the line here. What you can see, well, you can see. Basically, if the water comes down here, see it's going to fall off, and you can see down that line that is going to fall on this side of all that excavation work I did, pretty much. And so all the rain is going to come down here and go in there and make that wall soggy, and maybe, you know, some of it will crumble off or something. I've got to do something else next year, but I don't want it to be collapsing this year. Anyway, so I thought, you know, I better put a rain gutter on there, especially since tonight's forecast is summer's going to be over here. There's going to be rain and thunderstorms, and it's going to get cold, and it should be raining for the next couple of days. So I better get this done now. And the other thing to consider is look up there. See, it's not just the carport. Let me show you here. It's not just the carport that we're worried about. You see what the carport is hooked up to there. See that? Any water that comes off of there is going to go down the carport and right there into that area where it's going to make it all soggy. Well, anyway, so how do you do this? Let's go show you this here. It's not too hard. Okay, the first thing you got to do is find some gutter material. Now, this is, I guess it's galvanized steel or something, but anyway, I had this laying around, and any good redneck never throws nothing away, so I had this laying around, and son of a gun, look at that, it's just the right size. So now the other thing you got to do is put it at the right angle, see, because when you look at this, see, the water's going to be dripping off right here. Where's my finger? There it is, dripping off right here, and you want it to actually fall into the gutter. Now, if you look down here, you can see I've got this so you can get down here where you see it. You can see I've got this roof extending 3 or 4 inches over the edge, and I did that to keep any raw water from, you know, getting on the wood. Now, but that 3 or 4 inches is a little too far. This from here to here is about 4 inches, so you don't want to go over. So what I've done is I've cut some more of these, see these little pieces of wood, there's one there and one there. I've cut some more of those pieces of wood and tacked them on to push the space out just this way a little bit, so that the rainfall should drip right off there, right into the smack in the middle of the gutter. Third thing you got to do is got to get the gutter to where the water runs downhill. Now, if you remember on a past video, what I did was I showed you that this beam right here was absolutely level, so I'll rely on that fact. So what I've done is I've attached a string, you can see it right there, just under there, and I go down here and then I've attached it down there to where it's lower at that end than up here. You see here, you can see it's nearly up at the top, and if you can see it down there, it's about halfway down. So that way I know the water will run that way, away from the garage. Now I'll get a big pool of water down in this area right here, but I'll deal with that later. Anyway, so step one. Now the other thing you do is this, the way these things are put together. Let me get my camera stand and I'll show you. Now, like I was saying, the way these things are put together, and I hope there's a lot of wind up here right now because that storm's coming in, but I hope you can hear this. I've shielded the wind. I hope it works pretty good. But anyway, so the way you put these up is they have these what they call ferrules, or spike and ferrule. You can buy these at the hardware store. There's about, I don't know, 8 or 10 in here. I can't, 10 of them. There's 10 in here. They're about $8, so they don't cost much. But what it is, let me pull one out. What it is, you see you got kind of a bushing here. And what you basically do, as I turn this over, you basically drive, there's a hole, you drive the nail through here, like that, and then it goes to, and then the other, and this keeps it open, but then you drive this into the wood back there to hold the gutter up. That's how it works. So step one to use these is you got to have a hole over here, and this one here you can probably drive a hole through that one if you want, but you can get it. But anyway, I've drilled holes where I think they ought to be, So let's go up and try to put this one up. I will just tap this in, just to kind of hold it there, and then I'll put that in where it belongs, where it needs to go, and then I'll readjust this. What I'm going to do is assemble this thing. Put the nail there and a nail there. There we go. And then get it about up here, where, there, right about there. Now let's see if I can drive it right through. Punch a hole right through that other tin. Yeah, see, it punches through pretty easy. So now, here we go. There, okay. Okay, I'm going to pull this one out, and right up here where the string is. Same drill. Okay. Well, okay, we got her done, and there it is. Now this wind here, I hope you can still hear this, but there it is. Goes the whole length, and as you can kind of see if you look closely, it does slope down that way so that the water will run that way. And here's the edge. You can see that there we go. You see that right down there. There's a couple of spots where it's a little close there, but I think it'll still run fine. Anyway, there it is. It's all done, and now the rain. It looks like, well, the clouds don't look too bad at the moment, but there's something brewing. It's coming. They promised later on tonight. There's a storm coming. Well, Rednecks, it is the 27th of October, and I thought I'd give one more update on this carport that we built. And I wanted to show you that I had some gravel hauled in, and we filled up the bottom of the carport with it, or got it pretty well in there, and that really helped a lot. I have one more good look at this, and I think this thing worked out quite well. It's very good. I'm very satisfied with it. I hope this video doesn't have too much wind noise on it, but there it is, and not too bad for a redneck. And I don't know, maybe this will help some of you try to do some project like this yourself. As you can see, it can be done. It can be done. It's just that when you start out, it might seem a little daunting. But you just do one thing at a time and keep going, and you get it done.